It had been weeks since I last spoke to Linda. Every day since that brief, awkward conversation in the baby's room, I'd done my best to keep my distance. It should have been easy. I had never been a man who enjoyed social interactions, not even before everything in my life fell apart, but with Linda, avoidance was proving more difficult than I imagined. Each time I passed by the baby's room, I found myself lingering just outside the door, listening to her gentle voice as she cooed at the child or hummed lullabies. It was disconcerting. I wasn't sure why the sound of her voice affected me so strongly, why it soothed me despite my best efforts to remain cold and detached. Yet I couldn't stop myself from pausing there, heart pounding, torn between wanting to walk in and wanting to escape. On more than one occasion I caught a glimpse of her from my office window. She would carry the baby outside, taking her for some fresh air around the garden. Seeing her out there, the sunlight catching the soft waves of her hair, always brought a strange ache to my chest. Something I couldn't quite name, an emotion that left me feeling both uneasy and oddly comforted. I tried to shake it off, returning to my paperwork or phone calls, but it lingered like a faint echo in my mind. That's how it had been until this morning. I was leaving my room, preparing to head to work, my thoughts already buried in the day's upcoming meetings. As I rounded the corner in the hallway, I nearly collided with a young woman. My immediate, fleeting impression was that it must be Linda. Her face was similar and she was about the same height. "You've dyed your hair blonde?" I blurted, taken aback by the change. It was only then that I looked closer. The woman blinked at me, clearly surprised by my comment. "Yes, do you like it?" she said, placing a hand on her hip in a show of confidence. The moment she spoke, I knew something was off. Her voice was different, higher, brighter, lacking the gentleness I'd grown accustomed to overhearing. My stomach twisted with a sudden realization. "You're not Linda." A smirk tugged at her lips. "No, I'm not," she answered, tossing her blonde hair over her shoulder. "My name's Lydia. I'm Linda's younger sister, the prettier one." A flash of distaste hit me. The arrogance in her tone rubbed me the wrong way. My brows drew together and I couldn't help the hint of revulsion that crept into my expression. "Right," I said, "if you'll excuse me." Without another word I stepped around her and continued down the hallway, dismissing her completely. As I descended the stairs, I couldn't stop my thoughts from returning to that obnoxious smirk. Ridiculous girl, I thought, annoyance sparking through me. Everything about that encounter felt off, from my assumption that she was Linda to the unsettling realization that her personality was nothing like her sister's. Shaking my head, I headed out the door toward my car. I tried to banish the strange swirl of emotions that lingered in my gut, focusing instead on the workday ahead. But despite my best efforts, the memory of Linda's gentle voice, her soft presence with the baby, kept creeping back into my mind.